My friends, after a long delay, it is time to review the OneTigris Scaena Tent. This is a product that I've been testing out for a very long time. I have spent roughly 15 nights in this tent, and that does not include the waterproof testing that I've done with it. Just in case you don't know, my name is Luke, this is the Outdoor Gear Review, and this is an agenda-free review. You may be asking yourself, what does that mean? Well, it means this. I'm reviewing this product, I'm going to give you all my thoughts, my opinions, completely agenda-free. I don't care if you buy this, that means nothing to me. I get no benefit if you buy this product. I'm here to share my thoughts, and that's it. Before going any further, it should be stated that there is a preview which goes over every single detail concerning this tent. I'm not going to do that in this episode. I'm going to focus on the review. There's also multiple test night episodes. A test night episode is basically a waterproof test. In those episodes, you will see what this tent has gone through, this sort of waterproof testing that I've put this tent through. Additionally, there is an instructional episode in regards to how to set this up in both ways. If you have any questions concerning this tent that I do not answer in this episode, you can likely find the answer in the other videos that I've filmed. As a refresher, my friends, the Scaena tent is a refresh of the Cosmito tent. The Cosmito tent was unfortunately a defective product. It leaked like crazy. It leaked so badly, the company redesigned it, and this is the new version. This is the Scaena tent. Before jumping to the pros and cons concerning this product and my experiences, let's go over the stats real quick. This tent is available in one color only, and that is Coyote Brown. As far as the materials go, they are top notch. The fly is a 20 denier silicone treated Ripstop nylon with a 3000 millimeter hydrostatic head rating. The body is a 40 denier silicone treated Ripstop nylon with a 3000 millimeter hydrostatic head rating. The poles are 7001 aluminum. You have aluminum stakes, YKK zippers. The tent includes a ground sheet, 5 guy lines, 10 tent stakes, 3 poles, and a storage bag. The price of this tent is $250. And when it comes to the dimensions, stored, it is 15.5 inches long by 8.5 inches wide. When it's set up, you're looking at 6.8 feet long, 4.1 feet wide, and it is 3.7 feet tall. The tent weighs 5.3 pounds. It features 2 doors, 1 vestibule. The tent can be set up in 2 ways. As you see here with the fly, and it can also be set up as a hasty hooch, sort of quick shelter, and that's basically just the fly and poles. Going to the inside of the tent, it features 2 large mesh pockets, and there's a hook to hang from in the center. All of the seams are taped with this tent. As I mentioned before, it features 1 door, as you can see here. Going to the other side of the tent, you have this, and that's where this tent becomes really unusual. This tent features a partial fly. You have a fly on one side of the tent, it goes over and it stops right here. From here, the fly is on the inside of the tent. This is known as an internal fly. This is very uncommon in the outdoor space, even though companies have tried this for many years. Just about everyone has failed. With the internal fly, it can be stored out of the way if you don't need it, so you can allow for good airflow to come into the tent. When it comes to the vestibule door, there's a storm flap that goes over the zipper, and it features Velcro to hold it into place. The vestibule side of the tent can be rolled back, as you see here, which gives you access to the inside of the tent. And you have a very large sized door, which can also be rolled back and tied off. Going back to the internal fly side, you can see that the panels have been taken down. They are secured by Velcro, which is on the inside of the tent. And that happens in 2 placements, here and here. On this side of the tent, the only access point is on the right hand side. You have a storm flap that goes over the zipper, and that's true up here as well. In the corner, you have 2 zippers that come together to secure the door. Before I go over the pros concerning my review of this tent, let's go over what I've done as far as testing goes. So I've spent roughly 15 nights in this tent. I've done countless test night episodes where I've gotten this out into the rain to see how well it would perform. I've camped here in the mountains of North Carolina. I've taken this down to the coast of North Carolina. I've used this in hot conditions, warm conditions, wet conditions, windy conditions. It's fair to say that I know this tent inside and out. With that being the case, let's go ahead and move to the review portion of this episode. First off, this tent features a very unique design. The overall shape of this tent is unique. And the truth is, I've never seen anything quite like it before. The overall shape of this tent is different. On the side here with the internal fly, it pulls out in the front, which gives you more space on the inside of the tent. That by itself is unique. Then you have the internal fly part. That's unique. I've never seen a tent with a partial fly before. That's definitely different. Next up, this is a very well-made tent. The seam taping is perfect. There's no issues when it comes to stitching. Next up, the size of this tent is impressive. This is a tent that's built for 2 people plus their gear. It's long, it's wide, it's tall, and it offers a lot of space. Next up, everyone, on the inside of the tent, it features 2 very large sized mesh pockets both will hold a lot of gear. Plus you have the hook at the top so you can hang a headlamp or whatever you want. As far as ventilation goes, it is very good inside of this tent. Condensation can form on the fly and also on the internal fly, but that's to be expected. That's the case with any tent. Luckily, with the panels here, you can roll those back if the conditions warrant. You can also get a little bit of airflow from the vestibule side if the conditions warrant. The body itself is covered in mesh, so airflow is excellent. Plus, when it comes to the fly itself, at the top and at the bottom, or vice versa, whatever you want to say, it pulls away from the body, so air can come up underneath the fly and go into the body of the tent. That is a very nice feature. That is a feature that a lot of companies skimp on. A lot of companies don't think about. Going back to size for a second, the overall pack size of this tent is not bad. Weight, again, is not bad, considering this is a 2+ person tent. Talking about the way this tent looks for a minute, it looks excellent. I love the colors, earthy tones, coyote brown. It's very dark. I love it. It looks sharp, especially with the black accents. A huge pro for this tent is that the company used top-end materials. This is not made from polyester. Ripstop nylon fly, ripstop nylon body, and that translates to a lighter and stronger tent. If this tent was made from an equal strength polyester, the weight of this would be about 8 pounds. It takes quite a bit more polyester material to equal the same strength as nylon. Next everyone, the overall setup process and breakdown process of this tent is very simple. There's no big issues here. There's nothing to stand in your way. You can set this up within 5 minutes if you know what you're doing. And with that pro, let's move over to the cons because there are a few that you need to consider before you go out and purchase this tent. And the most important one, the biggest one, is waterproofness. This is something that we have to talk about in some detail because the answer is not simple. With my testing, I've had this out for, let's see, roughly 4 nights now in the rain. Every single time, this tent did not leak. In fact, I've been unable to get this to leak in any of the testing that I've done. We're talking about heavy, heavy rain, downpours in the middle of thunderstorms, strong winds. I cannot get this tent to leak. But that's not to say that other people haven't, because they have. I know plenty of individuals, including some viewers who have this tent, who have had it leak. With my testing and their testing, we have discovered what the issue is. I stated in the preview that I did of this tent that I was worried about this, and that proved to be true. The tent will not leak from the places that you would expect it to, namely right here in the center where there's a divider. There's quite a bit of space between the body of the tent and the fly itself where you would think moisture would come into, but that doesn't happen. The only weak point for this tent happens to be right here in the corner with the zipper. That is where the tent could potentially leak. Let's say that you're out with this tent, you're camping, you're staying the night, you open up this door, you get inside, and you zip it shut. If you do not zip it shut 100% correctly, it will leak potentially from this corner. Unfortunately, when you zip it up on the inside, the zipper itself and the pulls don't always go into the places that you want them to go. For this tent not to leak, the storm flap needs to be over the zipper. It needs to be completely flush with the body, all the way inside of this flap. The zipper pulls need to be pulled down right through here. You can see how my finger comes through. That is the channel. So water's coming in, makes its way through here, and comes out here. If you have those zipper pulls anywhere else, if there's any sort of issues with the storm flap, guess what? This tent will leak. That is the biggest issue with this tent. You basically have to get in it from the vestibule side. If you get in from the side with the internal fly, there's a potential for leaking there. Again, when you're on the inside of the tent, it's very difficult to get those zippers and the pulls in the right place. So if there's a chance of rain, go in from the side with the vestibule after making sure that everything is correct on this side. I need to say this, everyone. I love the fact that OneTigris is thinking outside of the box. I do. But I wish they would have a traditional fly for this tent, a full fly. This is something that I've requested. I don't know if they're going to do it, but if everybody sends an email to OneTigris saying, hey, we love this tent, the internal fly is interesting, but we want a full fly, make it an optional accessory. I think that would be fantastic. A simple fact is this, and I should have mentioned this during the pros. The internal fly, it works. And it works in ways more than just keeping water out. It also blocks wind. It acts as a 4-season tent inner in a way. And there's many ways that you can use that to your benefit. For an example, up here in the mountains, you can set up on a mountaintop, the winds are coming in this way, you can dial in the wind. You could basically adjust how much wind is coming into the tent with those panels. So imagine having those panels in conjunction with a fly. That's amazing versatility there. It could be. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I would love to see it. Now, I've mentioned before that I've had no issues when it comes to this tent leaking, even in strong winds. But I think in certain situations, wind-driven rain could be blown into those panels, making its way into the tent. Again, it goes back to needing a full fly for ultimate protection. So again, I haven't had any issues, but I think in some situations it could be a problem. Next everyone, the quick setup shelter, the hasty shelter, it's worthless. Because this tent features a partial fly, it just does not make any sense. It is nothing more than a sunshade and that's it. It's more of a gimmick feature. Again, because there's no full fly with this tent. Going to the other side of the tent with the vestibule is rather small. You may be able to get your boots in there, you might be able to get a small backpack, but that's about it. Again, there's not much space between the fly and the body. Moving on, my friends, I have some additional cons for you all to consider. When it comes to the setup process, the grommets that surround the tent for the tent poles, they're slightly oversized compared to the diameter of the pole peg. So oftentimes when you're setting up the tent, the poles will come out of those grommets. All this does is just add to a frustrating setup. It's not a deal breaker by any means, but I wanted to let you know about this. Next up, when it comes to the tent stakes, each of the tent stakes features a corded pull. Every single one of those pulls has come off over the last couple of months. I've had to go back and retie every single one of them. Another con that I have for this tent is somewhat important, and you do need to listen to this one. In addition to the potential leaking issues, there is an issue when it comes to the vestibule side. The body features two zippers. So one zipper comes down from the top, the other zipper comes across, and they meet. Right where those zippers meet, there's a hole. And there's no way to seal that up. You can of course stuff something in it, but that hole is always going to be there. So what does that mean? That means that there's a potential for bugs to crawl inside of the tent. So as far as pros and cons go, that's it. Now I'm going to summarize and wrap this up. I know this has been a long episode. So in the end, everyone, what I can tell you about this tent is this. I like it a lot. For the money, the quality is excellent. The size is excellent. It's easy to set up. With my testing, it has been 100% waterproof, but you need to know that there are some people out there who have gotten this thing to leak, and it all deals with that corner. I really do appreciate the fact that OneTigris is thinking outside of the box, but a full fly would do a lot for this tent. It would add a lot of versatility and a lot of protection, especially for those who want it, for those who live in wet conditions like I do. I don't want to give OneTigris a hard time about this, the interesting design aspect, because there's not many companies out there who are thinking outside of the box. There's not many companies out there who are doing something different. Most of these companies are just copying each other, making minor updates, minor changes, and that's it. OneTigris, they're thinking outside of the box. We're getting these weird shaped tents. I respect that a lot. So I hope that OneTigris continues thinking outside of the box, making new products, expanding what you can do with a tent, because I think they're onto something. With a full fly, this would be absolutely top notch. So hopefully they will offer one. Now it's your turn to sound off, everyone. Comment down below, share your thoughts. What do you all think about the OneTigris Scaena tent? Without a doubt, it is an upgrade to the Cosmito. Before you leave, everyone, hit the thumbs up because it does help the channel. You can also support the channel on Patreon, on YouTube. You can join the Wolf Pack. You can join the community. Again, this has been an agenda-free review. I'm not trying to sell this product. I don't care if you buy it. That means nothing to me. All I'm trying to do here is share information, my thoughts, my opinions, my experiences, and that's that. I appreciate you all. Be well, strength and honor. Bye for now.